Alright, everyone. So here we are, JROCK Onsen. I'm your host, Mazo, with co-host Sis.
Oh, please help me, God.
Okay. Co-host Nexus. And special guest NBT.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. We're in a jacuzzi this time.
No. Never the jacuzzi. Just the onsen. Okay.
JROCK Jacuzzi.
JROCK Jacuzzi. That's the spin-off. That's the spin-off. Okay. Go. Get the copyright or whatever we need for that, or else next week there's gonna be a JROCK Jacuzzi, and they're gonna drive us off of YouTube because we're no good, and then we're gonna be on Spotify, and they're gonna get on Spotify, and they're gonna drive us also off of Spotify, and they're gonna take us off of all these platforms we're on. We're on Spotify, guys. We're on every platform.
Yeah, Spotify. That's
Spotify. Check it out.
We're on the same platform as John Rogan, which is like one of the biggest.
It's Joe Rogan. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, today we're gonna talk about how do you prep for a show. Like, what's your ritual? How do you dress? What do you do to get ready? Do you store a bunch of mac and cheese in a Ziploc bag in a bush outside the venue? Do you put on your best eyeshadow, or do you just kind of show up? Are you the guy that smells? Are you the girl that smells? Are you super clean? Is everyone taking pictures of you? Do they think you're in the band? All that and more. Now it's going to happen now.
The last part actually applies to me.
Whoa. All right. Well, let's start with you then, NBT. What's your ritual for getting into a show?
It's not really a ritual, but like I have a very similar face, I guess, to the guys at Crystal Lake, because when I was at the show as a reporter, I went to like the booth, and this guy who was like it was some other guy who was a band from a band who played there. He was like waving at me. He was like, yeah, come here. And I was like, dude, what the fuck do you want? Like, and he was like, yeah, come here. And he's like, great show tonight, man. I just love the show. I was like, yeah, it was a great show. And I was like, yeah, like. Yeah, so he was just talking about like a bunch of bullshit, and I was like just responding with like, okay. And then at the end I was like, I'm not in the band, right? He was like, what? So he was like completely speechless at the end.
You played along and pretended that you were in the band.
Yeah, but I wanted to see his face, like reaction from like speaking so much like good things about me, and then just completely have the wrong person.
So racist, man.
Didn't you have something similar with something in Japan where you were leaving the venue and they were like, everybody was like, "Otsukare," and you were like, "Oh, Otsukare." Everybody's good working each other, and you're like, "Oh, you too."
That was a similar. Well, it's not really a similar case, but like in Japan, at wherever, but specifically for this, it was like a festival that I was reporting. And like everyone at the backstage is seen like as a staff member if you're not a band member. So whenever a band member passes you by, they would usually like go, let's get it. Out of their head a bit, and like, yeah, thank you for your work for making this festival kind of be possible. So that's usually what people do. And then you otsukare. Then back.
That's great.
Everyone's otsukareing each other for an hour.
Yeah. I was there just chilling and enjoying the shows. But I mean, I do my work afterwards. So
whatever helps you sleep at night, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To bring us back to the topic, in the past I used to kind of wear makeup, but nowadays I don't do anything really.
Well, yeah, because every concert is a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now, yeah, but like when we went to like the Gazette concert, me and Sis, what was it like last year?
Yeah.
Like I just remember Sis was like, "Oh, you're so casually dressed."
I don't remember saying that, but yeah, I must have said.
But like Sis, you really like to dress up, so we were like the opposite, really.
You were ruining his vibe.
I wasn't always like this, but if it's somebody like the Gazette, I normally have like an idea of what I'm going to wear on the day. I normally wear my clothes with makeup as well. It's the full shebang for me. But there are times where I do wear tour t-shirts. It depends really. If there's like a collaboration with a brand and a band and I buy it, I will probably wear it to the gig. That's the most likely time I'll wear a t-shirt. But apart from that,
so Gazette is like a Visual-kei band, so in that sense it feels natural to wear makeup. You've been to concerts like Cold Rain. How did you, because they're like a metalcore band, so how did you dress up for that?
yeah, I still wore makeup for that, but I think I wore a casual t-shirt rather than like a fancy shirt or fancy trousers. I just wore a t-shirt and the makeup, and that was it.
Here's a question for more context with that. Do you generally wear makeup in your regular life, or do you only wear it for concerts?
I only do it for like special occasions, really. Well, when I'm going out for friends, if I'm going to gigs, mainly that. I don't wear it for work. I haven't got to that stage yet, but yeah.
But next is, you're like, do you usually wear makeup, and how do you like differentiate that if you wear makeup for concerts?
I don't wear makeup. That's the thing. Anyway, I don't wear makeup in my daily life ever because I'm a lazy fuck. Much like Sid, I only put it on for special occasions, which are usually concerts, because I would not subject the poor guys to witnessing my bare face. It's like a part of my routine or ritual that when I'm traveling to a concert, I bother to put on makeup on the train or while we're waiting in the line or shit like that. For many years, I used to like dress up quite a lot for every single concert, even the small ones. I would just like have this whole get up with like big boots and a corset and like fishnet tights and shit like that. Then I stopped bothering. Usually I would just, if I'm going to something that I've already seen and I own merchandise, I would put on the t-shirt and then just wear my regular clothes, which are like I wear all the time. So even if I just come in my regular clothes, it's not like I came in jeans.
MBT, you know when you went to... So the only time I felt like I was underdressed was when I went to Hatsune Miku.
Yeah. How do you underdress for Hatsune Miku?
Literally just wore my padded jacket because it was cold as fuck. And MBT was in Hatsune Miku, what is it, Hayori? Was it called?
It's called a
Happy.
Be happy. And with his glow stick and everything. And I think that's the most colourful I've seen MBT ever.
Yeah, because that is my most colourful clothing that I own.
When you go to those events, I guess MBT beats me at that.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. It's the only time, and nowadays at least, that I really dress up. Like I wear like all my Hatsune Miku related kind of merchandise, like all at the same time.
Jesus, you're such a fucking weeb.
Just he has to blend in with the rest of the fans.
So they don't out Miku him. That would be humiliating.
I was gonna say that. Oh, go on.
Well, I don't really mind like if people like. I mean, generally, Hatsune Miku fans are not that judgmental. I guess it's more judgmental in the VK space.
I guess. And I guess because more people were cosplaying as well. So more people were dressed up in a sense.
Yeah, that's actually what was on my mind when we started talking about Hatsune Miku now. What about cosplaying to VK concerts?
Oh yeah, I can talk about that as well. I mean, especially when bands like Versailles come over to like the UK, people, or Kaya and D, people dress up as Tambike as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And go to these concerts, you know?
Also, I know you're speaking in present tense, but do they, or was this in like 2012?
I mean, I'm only speaking from the UK, so.
Mm-hmm.
But when did you see D in?
When did you see anyone dressed in Tambike at a Visual-kei show in the past 5 years? Genuine question.
5 months. You know, my memory's hazy, but I'm pretty sure there's always like it's not full Tambike, but it's always hints of it. So I've got like a jacket, like a nautical jacket, I guess, and then I wore that to when I saw Jupiter, because I was like, oh yeah, that's part of the theme, so I'll wear that, something like that, really.
I would be afraid to wear my expensive shit to a concert. It's like every time I see pictures from like old Malinois shows or Malice Miser or stuff like that, everyone's out there wearing like Lolita shit, and makes me think like, why would you wear it to a concert? This shit's expensive. It's gonna get torn or sweaty or something.
Also, like in European countries and maybe in American countries, what the hell? Maybe in America and European countries, our gigs are seen as more, everybody moves around, more rough, everybody moves around more and sweats into their clothing, while in Japan sometimes you have seated areas, or you'll stand in your area and then you'll just do Fury, and Fury is not like too intensive a lot sometimes.
Depends. The Morrigan Fury was pretty intense.
Yeah, but I feel like, okay then. Yeah.
But, I mean, if we're going back to the Lolita kind of stuff, I think if you are going to a concert that people are wearing Lolita, then obviously the people around them would respect the other people, because none of the participants would like their clothing to be ripped in any way.
I think it also brings like a sense of unity, like Hatsune Miku, really. Like, what if people are wearing? So if people are going to a Malice Miser concert, and everybody's wearing Manners brand, then everybody's like, oh, look at this person's coordinate, and look at this person's this person's got this coordinate, and that brings like everybody together.
In this specific instance, it's more kind of like merch flexing, honestly.
Because it's so expensive stuff. Wow, they had to make stuff.
Oh my god, look at all the merch he was able to afford.
Yeah, the Hatsune Miku stuff is like, because Hatsune Miku official stuff, it's basically on the same level as fan-made stuff, because at the end of the day, Hatsune Miku is not like officially just produced by like the main company, Krypton Future Media.
Do you own any fan-made merch?
I received some from the fans.
Your fans or Miku's fans?
Miku's fans. But I don't think I bought like anything from somewhere that's like not from Krypton Future Media. But I mean, all the artwork is from different artists, so all of them, and these artists are fans of Hatsune Miku. So in a sense,
is it generally like on the expensive side as far as merch is concerned, or affordable?
It's I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it's not expensive. So it's average, I guess, because the quality is so different from band merch. It's like silky kind of t-shirts, for example.
There are some good band t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean,
and some of them aren't.
Not if you're in Europe, because they always like buy a print t-shirt from the same manufacturers. It's like this Fruity Loop or Fruity Loops or Giljan or something like that.
Yeah. You're right. This is why I normally buy, like I was speaking about before, collaboration t-shirts with bands. So right now, I'm waiting on my order for the Muck Cavane collaboration shirt when that come in the end of the month. And before I bought a Razor and Civilize t-shirt, and I've also got like a developed one faculties and I forgot his shoes brand,
but like, I can't remember. Is the quality of those shirts better than the ones from Europe?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Obviously, it varies from brand to brand, but it's definitely much better.
Yeah.
I'm also paying much more as well. It better be.
I usually used to do my hair a lot also during my younger days. But, like, I think it's because you gotten older, so you start to think about, like, shit, what if you lose too much hair, if you damage it too much with, like, the...
Are you balding, NBT?
No, I'm not balding, but like I'm just afraid I will be from like flattening my hair and stuff like that, because that's takes a toll on the hair, and I used to bleach my hair.
And honestly, when you're talking about getting old, it's not even just like trying to preserve your hair. But some 2 concerts ago, I think it was Dylan Gray, when we were going to like 2 concerts, and there was a lot of travel involved. I spent like a couple hours weighing the pros and cons of taking my really cool boots so that I would look cool, and like flex my cool boots, or not taking my cool boots and just taking the freaking sneakers and being comfortable. I went for the sneakers because I'm old and lazy and fuck my cool boots.
Also, I think if you're traveling that far, I understand that. That's completely understandable.
I have these like super Visual-kei platforms that look like perfect for concerts, but then I was imagining that I would have to walk around in that for like 3 days and fucking sneakers.
It really isn't, especially when they're so heavy as well.
Yeah, I admire people who can do that, but I can't. I'm too old and too tired.
If people are in the if people are like, if they're in the UK and the venue is not that far, then I can understand. But if it's far off, then yeah, it's not really worth it, especially if you might hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like the crowd in Japan compared to the crowd in everywhere else in Europe or maybe America. Is that when I went to the Balouf with Mazo, the people there just dressed up very like rock kind of look. The typical ones that you would find in maybe America, but like the Westerners who attended the show, they were more kind of like VK dressed. I found that very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like when I went to a few gigs in Japan, all of the audience was dressed casually. I was the only one that I was kind of the odd one out. Not just because I'm black, but just because I was wearing like different clothes to some people. Obviously, there's the minority that dress up, but
I have a theory that they dress up less because since the concerts keep being a thing in their area, it's kind of just casual to them at this point. Because like the scene is kind of so old, and some of the fans are like just so used to going that they probably get old and tired, just as us, and they stop dressing up.
Yeah.
And when you're like a Westerner on a trip to Japan and you're finally going to a Japanese live, I get to look my best, so you just dress up, you know.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
That's true. I didn't think of it like that.
Like for them, it's just a routine concert such as it is for us when you're seeing Tirang Grey in Europe for the 20th time. If you're seeing them in Japan for the 20th time and you're Japanese, you're probably just going to dress in a Tirang Grey t-shirt. If you're a foreigner that's finally finished saving up for a Japan trip after 10 years and going to all the concerts, you're gonna want to look your best.
I wonder, like, because in Japan there's so, like, the concert scene is so active, but like if I were into Western music instead, I wonder how active I would be in my kind of hometown, because right now I'm not that active, actively going to concerts here because there aren't much stuff that I'm into. But when I'm in Japan, I go to concerts like constantly.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I mean, you were already there where there's stuff you can't see in Europe, just go to all of them, you know?
Yeah.
But in here, when it comes to Western music, I literally only go to concerts that my friend organizes. Because I just don't care. Even though I like Western music, but I just don't care.
Yeah.
Mazu, what do you wear at your concert?
Just whatever.
Anime t-shirts.
I mean, you guys were talking about something earlier, and it reminded me of something, which was way back. I mean, the first show I went to, I don't remember what I wore, because the first show I went to, like, legitimately was a Deer on Grey show. It was, like, in 2008 or something. And at that time, I didn't have anything. That was kind of like the catalyst for getting me really into Japanese music. Like, I was already into it, but my dad was like, hey, your birthday's coming up. I got you these Gay tickets. And I was like, I don't even know who they are, really. Like, I've heard, like, 3 songs. And he's like, well, happy birthday. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I went and I was like, okay, I'm in that religion now. And so I don't remember what it was that time. But later on, like the next few shows I went to, I did wear like the shirt that I got from the show. I bought like a hoodie online too. So I had like Deer on Grey shit that I wore to like every show I went to, which was really only Deer on Grey shows. And I was listening to a really popular radio program out in the States, and the hosts of the station were like, yeah, I fucking hate those people who show up at a show wearing the band's shirt. Like,
Wait, what?
Why?
well,
What's the point of the shirt?
why are you promoting them at their own show though? Like, it's not like you're exposing anyone else to their music.
No, but you're showing the support. Like, see,
You're showing the support, yeah, but you're already there. So I thought about that, and I understood it in the sense that you're already there. Like, what else do you need to do? And not only that, for myself and my friend who I usually go with, for the most part, when we get there, we're already going to buy a new shirt while we're there, and either wear it while we're there on top, and then, you're already just wearing the band's fucking shirt again, or, wear it at a different time. Like, I've jammed them into my pockets before and, gone through the show with a shirt in my pocket. But
that sounds like a big, like, what if you lose your shirt and stuff like that?
yeah, don't.
Totally.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Just fucking don't do that.
I mean, for me, it's a bit weird if I would go to, like, a show, let's say wearing another band's shirt.
Why?
Promote them instead.
Yeah, I hate those.
Why, though?
It feels disrespecting.
Yeah, right?
But why?
You're at a show promoting a different band.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
do
trying to grow the scene for everyone.
That's rude. Just wear the correct shirt.
I don't find that rude at all. I mean, even
I think
when
you're in the minority, though. That's
well, even when we went to Deviloof, I was wearing a Dehumanizing Ita Train Worship shirt. And even Keisuke was like, oh, that's a Stillbirth Records shirt. And I was like, yeah, they're on Stillbirth. And he's like, yeah, they're pretty good. Like, that's kind of like your conversation starter. Yeah, everybody at the show is there for the band that's there, but there's no real connection there other than, yeah, we both like this band. But if they're wearing, let's say you go to a Deer show and there's a guy in a Gazette shirt. I mean, obviously there's going to be one or two, but you're going to be like, oh, you're into Gazette too? And he's like, yeah. Whereas there's the off chance that you run into somebody and you're like, oh, you're into JROCK ONSEN, and they're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, have you listened to, I don't know, Guru Gamesh? And they're like, dude, I hate Japanese bands. I just like JROCK ONSEN. Like, that happens.
Okay, so when I went to, like, the Plain White Tees concert, I had won the tickets. So I wasn't really, like, a big fan of them, but I felt like, oh, it's a great opportunity to kind of, like, experience this band live, at least, because I've heard them so much on the radio. So this was back in the radio days. So I wore a Korn t-shirt to the show. And my friend that I went with, he was like, why the fuck are you wearing a Korn t-shirt? That was his kind of reaction to it.
It almost feels like you're like projecting that you're here for this band, but here's the band you're wearing, which means they're better.
Not necessarily. You're just promoting something else. Like,
but why would you go to somebody's concert?
You see that fan base, else? And it's almost like if you're having a discussion with friends, and that group of friends is really into a particular thing, and you're like, hey, have you heard of this though? And they're like, no, I haven't. Give it a listen. Or it catches their eye, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll listen to that instead at some time, instead of just being locked down into one fucking thing.
I think the way that you think of it is very, like, a positive thing. But maybe if that's not how majority of people perceive it, it might not be as appropriate. But, like, I'm not saying it's bad, but just, like, how people perceive it might not be.
I'm not worried about them. Like, I'm not, like, if somebody's gonna get insulted because I wear a Deviloof shirt to a JROCK ONSEN show, or a JROCK ONSEN shirt to a Deviloof show, like, who cares?
No, my point is that you're not doing the thing that you're trying to do, really. That's the problem.
No press is bad press.
I guess.
Because think about it. Like, if the name is there, they see the shirt, even if they hate the shirt, they still know that band. A month down the line, you can be like, yeah, I was at this show and this guy's wearing a fucking Hatsune Miku shirt. What the fuck is that? Somebody's like, oh, I've heard about that. My other friend's into it. And then, they go home and they're like, maybe I should listen to Hatsune Miku because the other guy fucking recommended it. And, he mentioned that one guy at the concert wearing it. Like, he's into that. I'm into that. Maybe I'll be into it.
Yeah. Actually, it just reminded me of one situation that was outside of a concert, though. When I met Kanta, Devil's drummer for the first time.
Mhm.
He was wearing a band shirt. I just can't remember the name of it anymore, but it was a pretty cool shirt. So I got interested in the band because of that. So I started looking it up. So that initiated me to at least look them out.
We spent like 10 minutes shitting on Masu's opinion. Now you're confirming it.
I'm saying like it happens that it's a potential, but I'm also saying that might not be like how majority of people perceive it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I think, but I met him outside of the concert, so it wasn't the same scenario.
I've had a similar scenario where I went to Cold Rain. Somebody was wearing a Dadaroma hoodie. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I just tapped her on the back and I was like, hey, cool, I see you got the Dadaroma hoodie. That's really cool. I'm really into them as well. And we had a conversation from that, and it's like,
and then they fucked. Exactly. That's why it works.
No. And then we saw each other.
No.
Stop.
This is a personal attack on Steve.
The problem with Gazette shirts is that the G in Gazette looks like a B.
A baguette.
My friend thought
A baguette.
The baguettes.
You know what? Why the fuck not? Just the baguette.
It's good that it went to France then, isn't it? Twice.
Oh.
Somebody should suggest it to Kamijo as merchandise for Versailles. The baguette.
Bonjour.
I feel like there's probably some kind of cringe culture around like, wearing a Versailles shirt to a Darren Gray show, or wearing just that whole train of thought there. But I completely understand where Mazu is coming from. It does open up a conversation, and that's always great,
And here I am wearing a JROCK News shirt to every other show, and it hasn't sparked the conversation yet.
Well, yeah, it's because nobody gives a fuck about JROCK News.
Sucks.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm keeping it.
I don't mind wearing a JROCK News shirt, but I just thought it was embarrassing that no one cared about the JROCK News shirt.
There's a possibility that there's people who are like, look at this guy shilling for JROCK News. He probably only goes on there once a month.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Like, they don't know your staff. Like,
that's true.
That's true.
I actually went to the Crossfade concert, and I asked, I was talking to a guy and asking him, what kind of band he listens to. And I think I mentioned that I wrote for JROCK News, and he was like, dude, that's my, first primary choice for, JROCK News.
oh, did you fuck?
Good, because we're called JROCK News.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
It's it's crazy when you actually
slightly relevant.
Well, so far all you've done is confirm that it does get conversation started if you wear another band shirt. Like, even if it's just you and your friend going like, you see that bitch in the Versailles bag?
Yeah, but it's not a productive conversation. It's just me and my friend.
You're still talking about Versailles. And don't tell me you're not going home and listening to Zombie.
No.
Ooh, burns. Not really. No.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Why specifically Zombie?
I don't know.
Because
I guess it's a
their
metal
best
song.
song.
It's not.
Judicial Noir.
I haven't say it properly.
Yep, you can't. He still says Versailles when nobody's looking.
What was it that he couldn't pronounce? Chocolate?
What is it that he can pronounce?
How do you pronounce black in French?
You had it right, noir.
Noir.
Yeah.
It's like noir. It's not noir with the R. It's like noir or something like that.
Ah,
It's
you
without
know,
the R.
crazy story. I don't speak French.
What the fuck?
But yeah, that's my thing. I don't really get super ready or anything. There was one time where I was going to a show after school back in high school, and I was so stupid. I forgot to put on deodorant that day, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be that guy who at the end of the mosh pit is the reason everybody smells horrible. So I had to find somebody who actually had PE and be like, dude, I need to borrow this. So
If it consoles you, I usually tend to share deodorant with people on like every other concert, because like, why would we all have a separate bottle?
You know, I think you created Corona, man.
Wow.
me, I still remember when I went to a show with a cold not that long ago, like when the Corona thing was like starting up. It could have been Corona.
I remember the good old times of like concerts in summer when it would be hot as shit and the staff would pass out water and everybody would just share the bottles, drinking it, not worrying about Corona. Now we can never do that again, ever.
Well, we don't even have concerts now, so
Yeah,
Have them online or through a screen.
yeah, we can share water online separately.
But I think in general for JROCK concert, if you don't like dress up, I don't think you would stand out, at least in the West.
Not anymore. Nobody really dresses up too much anymore. In 2008, maybe. Not anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, you would probably stand out more if you dressed up.
Yeah, at least now. Like most of the people aren't as dressed up.
The people who used to dress up in 2008 are all 30 now. They don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about JROCK, but they give a shit about K-pop.
Yeah.
It's also an age thing, isn't it? Like people on with their different, like have different lifestyles after a certain point, and then they just move on to whatever the thing it is. That's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, we did. I think cover what we wanted to cover, but real quick, just because I have an interesting one. If anyone has a story about like the craziest outfit or whatever they've seen at a show, mine wasn't myself. I didn't see it. I technically have two stories. There was one where my Filipino buddy, his parents were convinced that he was worshiping the devil, so they burned all his black clothes one day, and
What the fuck?
he actually went to, I think it was a Vader concert, something. It was something. He went to some concert that night, but all he had left was like bright colors. So he was the only one at this show wearing white pants and a white t-shirt, and like everybody fucking loved him. Like he was crowd surfing and shit. They were like, "Bold move, little man," and that was the thing. But the other one was I had another friend who went to a show, some deathcore band. And there was a guy there in full cardboard armor made out of cardboard that you get from buying 12 packs of beer. And by the end of the night, all he had was like the left boot and the right shoulder pad.
You got stripped.
I mean, they just beat the shit out of each other in the pit. But those are the two craziest stories that I know of from shows. People dressed up. I mean, I have seen people go all goth lolly or whatever you want to call it. Even guys dressed up all like you said, something K, Tunga K. I've seen that too. I think it's a waste of fucking time. But
Wait, do you frequently see people like dressed up over the top?
I haven't been to a show in the States in a while, but when I would go to shows in the States, there was always one or two people. Yeah.
Your friend's brave for wearing all white. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's what everybody at the venue fucking told him. Yeah, that same guy, I lost him at a Gazette show. That shit was funny.
It reminds me of like if you're, for example, supporting one team, like in football, and then you wear the other team's shirt and go to like the opposite side. It sounds like that kind of scenario. You catch my drift? So when we went to the Gazette concert, because I just can't remember so far back, to be honest, for my other concerts. But from last year, I saw like these two Japanese cosplayers.
Yeah.
They looked like Reita and Rookie. Like it's like 90% in similarity.
So good. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was really cool.
Yeah, the crazy part, like nowadays, Reita wears like a mask, and they also made like a mask that was pretty close to the real thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do remember a very convincing Rookie from the Dogma era. That was pretty good freaking cosplay.
Oh, did you see them? And
I don't know if we were the same cosplayers.
could be, because I know someone, I didn't hear it from them personally, but someone said they usually dress up and travel and tour with the band.
Yeah.
Like, not with the band, but
I get it. I remember Eruki was super convincing in like the big hat from Dogma, and then another one in like the suit. Now I can't remember if it was from Cockroach or from Fateless. One of them.
It's Cockroach when he has this red big.
Yeah, the hat, the Cockroach, and that was super good. So it might have been that cosplayer.
That was a long time ago. If that was when Cockroach was.
No, it wasn't. It was. Like, it was that outfit, but
okay,
it was at one of the European lives.
Okay, I get you.
I remember seeing on Instagram somebody dressed up as the art for 9th, maybe somewhere in Russia. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I think they went to the gig in that, and it looked heavy.
From 9th?
Yeah, from 9th.
But that's this. Yeah, but that's red. That's red. Yeah.
Okay, that looks inconvenient. And like you wouldn't be able to see shit.
Yeah, she's wearing is a mask or what do you call it?
Is it veil?
Oh, okay.
Did the cosplayer have the baby?
I think so.
Was it a live baby or a doll?
They ripped the bridge baby out of the special edition of Death Stranding.
It was a dead baby, yeah. Brought a dead baby to the concert, yeah.
Technically have a crazy outfit story. I just have a story about how at one point at a live, a girl that was waiting with us in line went to quote unquote fix her makeup, spent an hour in the bathroom fixing her makeup, and when she came out she looked the fucking same. Well, that was a waste of time. Some people put way too much effort into it.
I think you don't notice the details though, but
well, nobody else is going to notice the details then, are they?
It's not about that. It's about empowering yourself. If you look good, if you feel like you look good, then you look good.
He's onto something. He's right. I think he's right. Yeah. Maybe she needs to go to the toilet as well. So.
What?
Don't shit on the toilet.
So maybe
that's what it's for.
Maybe she needs.
No, you shit in the toilet, buddy.
What? I'm not saying shit.
Not you, Nexus.
So is a big factor of this basically age, or what else is there?
Yes.
There's no discussion about that.
Age and like how long you've been in the fandom and how tired you are, which also
how tired you are.
Is interconnected with age. Because if you have been in the fandom for a long time, you are also old.
But if you're old and you start listening to JROCK, how about that?
Then you're probably an outlier, and it depends on your personal preferences. Maybe you're not tired of dressing up anymore yet.
I do wonder, like, it's hard to get into. I don't know if it is, but I assume it's hard to get into new kind of like genre of music, just like suddenly when you're old.
I don't think so.
A genre? Yeah. A subgenre? Probably not.
That's
yeah.
True. I guess it would be kind of weird to like listen to metal for like 40 years and then suddenly start being really into K-pop.
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys heard of classical music? Holy shit.
I'm
65 and I just heard about this.
It's also like, I guess this is off topic, but yeah, it's like J-Rock going to K-pop is like complete, sometimes not the...
But that, I guess the reason for that is also because the type of the scene, like you're glorifying these Asian men. It's the same thing in that sense.
Yeah. That's one way to fucking look at it.
If you were into J-Rock just because you wanted to fuck Asian men, you were going to do just fine with K-pop.
Maybe I should switch to K-pop.
They're inferior.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've covered just about everything with that one. There's still some opinions out there. Obviously, there's no right. There's only wrong. But
especially if you're Mazo.
Yeah, you're all wrong about everything. Before we get out, some comments from last video about what kills a band. We have here today Matthias, who says if they lose everything special or characteristic about them, that's what kills them for him. But it happened to me only once. The Kaya's singles Monday, and Fabulous. Terribly generic EDM without anything that makes Kaya great. Whether he likes it or not, he's simply best at darker melodies, with exceptions on his first 2 albums, especially Queen or his interpretations of classical chansons? Of you like chansons, that is. I'm assuming that was if you like chansons. But still, I'll follow his stuff apart from these EDM songs. So, Matthias says that he doesn't like when an artist totally changes themselves in a way where they're not their unique self from the beginning. And I understand Nexus has some feels when it comes to this, specifically Kaya.
I just wanted to extremely hardcore agree with that, because ever since Kaya started to like gear his shit more towards like Latin American audience, I don't know if it's caused by that, but it incidentally happened at the same time. He kind of just lost all the uniqueness of his music. And that happens so often when bands start being more Western.
Yeah, bye.
Can I ask why he was like focusing on this audience?
I'm not quite sure why. I guess he found like success with like the drag community in the West, and that's just kind of what he does now. Not exclusively, and definitely not now with Corona, but just like in the past, he used to be more like Lolita and Gothic, and now it's definitely more drag and more like disco sounding. And it's and it's just like it sounds super generic now, and it's meh.
For someone who's not knowledgeable about that scene, how is it different from the Lolita scene and like the drag scene?
I'm not quite sure I can put it into words.
Use your fucking eyes.
It's just like it's more normie shit. I don't know how to.
Is drag more normal?
No, it's not. But it's not Gothic anymore. Okay,
I feel like
not dark. The darkness is gone.
Yeah, it's definitely like drag has definitely gotten more popular over the last few years, and maybe he wanted to capitalize on that. But it also makes sense because he was doing that. He was doing basically drag from
he was
years ago.
Technically doing drag from the start, but it was like more goth drag and more closer to Visual-kei, and now it's
he's part of Schwartzstein as well, for horror.
Yeah.
So that was also gothic as well. And then he was in Femme Fatale, and that was also gothic, I believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I guess goth doesn't pay anymore, which is fine. I mean, it doesn't.
I think that's been true since like 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, like the aristocratic kind of theme with the Versailles.
I like how hard you have to try to get it right.
No, that was me. Like
Tanbike is like super dead.
Whatever.
Tanbike is dead and buried.
Like that used to be like the thing, right?
Yeah,
that was
totally.
Like the main thing for a few years, and now it's done. It's dead, gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matthias, you're right, and you should say it.
And you should say it. Scream your opinions from the rooftops, Matthias. Scream it for us all.
Wow.
Go march.
All right, well, now it really is time to get out of this bath. So...
This jacuzzi.
There's no jacuzzi in the JROCK Onsen. So, everybody, it's been fun today. I've been your host, Mazo, with co-host Sis.
Oh,
much more calm from the beginning. Co-host Nexus.
Farewell.
Wow. And special guest MBT.
Does it sound like I just went out of the bath?
I don't know. I don't know
Sounded
what
like you deflated like a balloon.
Yeah, I don't know what you were trying to fucking do, but I'm gonna spare these listeners from any more of your bullshit.
Was it a live baby or a doll?